welcome to Final Fights. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a woman who traversed a lava lake to get here for this episode. It's Megan Hoffmeyer.
I really like that idea. I wanna work through that scene. Did I have a cement boat? I mean, how did that work?
No, you just had a boat that had a force field on it, so when the lava plopped up, it didn't drop on you. It's a very safe, sufficient, like, you were fine. It was like walking across the street in a nice crosswalk when you have the right of way.
Okay, yeah, no, that sounds like it works. In this world, I'm sure they've already prepared for that, so.
Well, you know, in this final fight, the duel on Mustafar, they knocked the force fields out, and that's why everything got knocked out.
I know, I do have a note about that
They
part.
hit the one button.
It is so, I mean, obviously it's written, but at the same time, it's so funny and random. Like, you're being that careless that you knock the shields out. Hit that one panel over there. I
guess it's meant to be, this fight is just so angry, and these two are just, you know, Obi-Wan doesn't really want to kill. Yeah, it's very emotional. Obi-Wan doesn't want to kill Anakin or Vader. Vader wants to kill Obi-Wan. You know, you had the mentor and the apprentice, the Padawan. You know, they're like brothers. They loved each other.
Best friends.
Now, we got into a little something here, Megan. When we were like, yeah, let's do a 20-minute episode on the duel on Mustafar, we're like, it shouldn't be that bad. But after looking at all the research,
there's so much.
Like, it's tough to talk about Star Wars and not get it wrong, because there's so much, like, everything you want is out there to research. But if you mess up one thing.
Yeah, I did write that down, that the best and worst thing about Star Wars is that people love it so much, and it's been going on for 50 plus years now, that it's just so hard. I mean, everything is researched and documented, but there's people debating it everywhere. So it's the best and worst thing. There's tons of information, but there's so many passionate opinions.
Oh, you're right. And when you met, I have a quick question. Before you met, married me, right now we're in my office, and I have a BB-8. I have a Gorilla Walker. I have a Millennium Falcon.
You have a C-3PO with a red arm.
Yeah, I have the R2-D2 from Star Wars that you made for me specifically. And then we have all of our pops around here. Did you know you were going to be getting into such a Star Wars fandom?
No, but I'm totally okay with that, because I'm full into sci-fi and all nerd fandoms out there, and it makes me very happy that I'm with someone who indulges that and has a passion for all these different groups like I do.
And you watched the original Star Wars on VHS with your parents. We watched them all, the originals, without the added effects on the old 80s VHS tapes together. So
that was a fun experience.
We're massive nerds when it comes to Star Wars. And I have something interesting. So I watched there's an hour-and-a-half documentary about the making of this fight. Now,
just the fight.
Scene 158.
Wait, the duel.
The duel on Mustafar. 26 shots, 1,185 frames, 910 artists, 70,441 hours. So this movie...
Of work time?
Yeah. So this movie... So George goes lava planet. And this was first established in Revenge of the Sith, and it's been featured in Rogue One. It's been Rise of Skywalker, the Clone Wars animated show. It's built its own world around there.
Oh, but, yeah, you should see the Wikipedia page.
It's crazy. But this movie had all the previs. I mean, they had so Nick Gillard, the stunt supervisor's talking about this. You know, Nash Edgerton, one of the Edgerton brothers who directed The Square and Gringo? He was the stunt double for Ewan McGregor in this. So there's an entire just documentary about the first AD, Clon Fetcher, George Lucas, all the paint and matte work, all this, ILM work. I mean, it is just, there is so much information on this fight. Now, before we get into it, I did my best to count all the strikes. How many, strikes do you think were thrown?
Lightsaber kicks, everything?
Ding, ding. No, just lightsaber.
Oof. Well, there's those two sequences where they go so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, 200.
Oh, you're 173.
Hey, that was the closest I've been.
I could be really wrong. And also, I just want to do something real quick. So, there's been a lot of podcasts, a lot of videos on this duel. However, no podcast or video has ever ranked the kicks in this fight.
I have a definitive, unofficial naming of the kicks.
Oh, there's a naming of the kicks?
No, I did it.
Oh, you did it. All right, so what'd you name them? There's 7 of them.
Oh, well, I missed a few.
Okay, which one did you get?
Gut kick, chest kick, side kick, clothesline, gut kick.
So I have Anakin drop kick on table, Obi-Wan kick the table, kick the flip table, Anakin high kick, Anakin kick and fly, butt kick, gut kick to run away. So if we're going to rank these 7 kicks, right? I mean, I just got to go. So in our Movies, Films, and Flicks podcast, the flagship podcast that we branched out from, in our first episode, John Levengood in 2015 talked about jump kicks. And I'm a big jump kick guy. So I got to say the number one.
Which jump kick is that?
That's when they're on the table. And we were talking about the movie Snowpiercer, how he would jump kick a goon. But I would say my favorite one in this is the drop kick on the table. Just because he goes both feet in the air. Both of his feet are in the air and he levels Obi-Wan.
That's the one in the chest?
Yeah. Like 2 feet though. Jump up on and he blasts him. And then his saber flies away.
But then Obi comes back pretty quickly with a sidekick clothesline.
Yeah. So that's my number 2. The Obi-Wan kick to flip. He kicks somehow.
Pretty skillful. Mind you, they're fighting on a very long conference table, which...
They have big meetings on lava planets.
Big meetings, literally, because it's a big table. And it's a big meeting.
It's only one guy, and he sits at the head, and he makes everyone else sit at the other end just to make him look powerful.
For little meetings, we use the little table.
That's right. But he kicks Anakin in the chest, and Anakin does a flip. I mean, that's a hell of a kick.
Oh, yeah. That is a thing that I actually Googled about this. Jedi and all of their flips. They're constantly doing flips all the time. Flipping. And I'm sure it's an impressive move, but is that really part of their training? Is there a whole section of Jedi training and Sith training on flips?
There must be, because they do a lot of them.
There's front flips. There's back flips.
I want to be the Jedi who teaches flips. Can you imagine me flipping? I'd break my neck.
No.
I'd be the burly Jedi who gets killed by Palpatine in the council chamber with Mace Windu.
I love you, but that's a lot of person to flip.
No, my third one is the Anakin high kick. Because Anakin, so we made a joke. We love Scott Adkins. We love Michael Bisping. And there's a movie called Triple Threat, where it's Iko Uwais, Tony Jaa, Tiger Chen, Michael Jai White, Michael Bisping, Scott Adkins, basically all the amazing martial artists on the planet.
Did you say Tony Jaa, Tiger Chen?
Iko Uwais.
All the best.
Just the best. But there's Michael Bisping in there. And so I used to train MMA, and you said that I throw kicks like Michael Bisping. So there's a kick in here that's not very great. It's a Michael Bisping kick, but it's a high kick to Obi-Wan's face.
I mean, I'm sure it would hurt, and it would absolutely decimate a normal person. It's just that, people your size do not have that much flexibility. You know
that Hayden Christensen, I did a bunch of research for this. He put on 25 pounds of muscle for this.
Really?
And then they're like,
then they hid it under all those layers.
He has one shirtless scene in the movie. And they're like, how did you hold on to that muscle? He's like, no, I lost it in like 2 weeks. He's like, if you can't eat 40,000 eggs a day, like I'm not Dwayne Johnson. So he said he lost that muscle pretty quick. But yeah, so he gained 25 pounds. So he's pretty burly in this. Now, my fourth one. All right, you ready for this? Mm-hmm. Now, it's the Hayden kick and fly, the first kick. So Hayden kicks Obi-Wan in the belly. And Obi-Wan does a backflip. That's
my number one gut kick.
Yeah. Number one gut kick. He does a backflip, and he flies about 15 feet?
I'm telling you, the flips and the flies, it's a lot.
I mean, that gut kick, what are their cores like? Do Jedis do sit-ups?
Do they have to? Do they use the Force for these flips? Is it martial ability? What's going on here?
I've been hit in the gut before, and it hurts. If someone kicked me in the gut to where I flew 15 feet, how strong? Force abs?
Yeah, well, or Force?
Force?
They're using extra force through the Force.
That's interesting. So it's ab block via Force?
Maybe.
It's interesting.
I don't know.
I still like it because he flies 15 feet.
Magic.
Next is the butt kick on the table. So Obi-Wan is he's getting whooped up on by Anakin, and he just does a little kick and kicks Anakin's butt, and Anakin does a roll. Very, very good. I mean, flexible.
It's the little details that matter.
These guys in this fight, they didn't fast forward the fight. They were fighting an act, like there's no frame rate, there was no nothing. These two,
real time. They
trained for like months. And Hayden Christensen said on his free time, if they were together in between a take, they'd whap each other and be like, let's go train. And then they'd be hitting each other with they'd be training in between takes.
Oh, that sounds very much like We Read As You Wish, the fight training in The Princess Bride.
Yeah, so it's exactly like that. And it's pretty interesting that Ewan McGregor came in from another movie. And so he didn't have that much time to train. But in 3 weeks, Nick Gillard said that he learned over 1,000 moves.
Oof.
Which is crazy. So he came in and did that really quick. And
how long is this fight?
It's about 8 minutes.
Jeez.
And I guess if you add in the skirmish in the throne room too. Mm-hmm. So but it's just such a a gnarly fight that these two get into, but it was a lot of them. They didn't use that many stunt doubles on this. These guys got really good with lightsabers. And I know a lot of people complain about this fight. There's too much lava. I hate when they spin their lights. Oh, sorry guys. That's very insulting. So there's too much lava. I don't like the way they're spinning their lightsabers.
No, I think you're adopting the voice that we all attribute to internet trolls everywhere.
Yeah, but, I'm a big Star Wars nerd, but I guess a Star Wars movie has never wrecked my life. Like, I've never walked out of a Star Wars film and been like, I'm dead. I'm dead inside. Like,
I would say the tone of your podcast and your blog in general, you tend to be pretty positive about things. That's just sort of your outlook, so I think that's right on brand for you.
But so what we do is, like, this fight, though, I love how fast it is. And you know what? Like, George Lucas just said lava planet. And maybe it's too much, Megan? I mean, there's a lot of...
It's a lot of lava.
A lot of lava?
A lot of lava.
Lavazza coffee? What if it was a Lavazza coffee?
I lava you.
So, I mean, it's just... I don't think it's too much. But here, let me get back to my sixth kick here. Okay. And that's the Obi gut kick in The Office.
Okay, I have that one.
It's just a tactical gut kick. I mean, it's just kind of saying, I'm here.
Nuts and bolts, it's there to perform.
Yeah, it's
workhorse.
It works. I mean, it's just a good front kick. And then my last one is Obi gut kick to run away. So Obi throws a kick out, hits Anakin in the gut, or Vader in the gut, and then he runs away.
The way you keep saying Vader makes me think of the Weird Al song, because that's the way he pronounces it. So every time you say
it, Vader, someday
that's
later.
what's happening in my head, yes.
But, I mean, this is a fight between two equally matched people. And what they establish in this is Anakin's stronger. And in the commentaries, I listened to all the two commentaries over this. Is 2 commentaries, a documentary, like a lot. This is awesome.
Some good extra material. What is that on the Blu-ray?
Yeah. So the Blu-ray, and if you buy it on digital, you can just get all that stuff with it as well.
That's pretty sweet that they're doing that now. And
I get no money for this, but you should definitely buy it because there's so many documentaries. But I kind of like how it's the arrogance of Vader. I mean, Vader, this feels weird to say because he's just so newly Vader. But Anakin is just, you underestimate my power.
He's got that new Sith shine.
He's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna take you out. I'm gonna win this. And I mean, what happens is he attacks Obi on the high ground, and Obi wipes out his arm and his legs, and then he ends up burning up and frying. And
I like the internet description of this. Severs his remaining organic limbs.
Oh yeah,
and rolls down a hill.
I mean, he gets wiped out
to catch on fire. It is I wrote this so graphic when he burns up, very disturbing.
There's a lot of you see his skin frying.
It's gross.
Now, Nick Gillard, the guy who did this, had an interview with IGN, and he said that the idea for this classic moment came when he and Hayden Christensen were headed out to grab a bite during filming in Australia. We would eat in this restaurant every night that was up a hill, Gillard explained. We would walk up the road and down to this restaurant, or you could walk across a steep bank to it. For me, I always went the most direct route, so I'm going for the bank, and Hayden hates walking on a slope, so that was in my mind about the higher ground. If I can get Anakin on the slope, Obi might have a chance. So that came from them going to dinner during this with Attack, because they work on Attack of the Clones as well. So you have, I mean, it's kind of become a classic high ground moment on this, but that just sort of came up.
And he takes the moral high ground as well.
He does. And you know can I tell you something really cool?
Yes.
There was a study about this, and someone broke down the entire fight. So the fight was analyzed second by second, and there's a labeled graph. Obi was able to maintain and rain down on high ground. So he had about 93 seconds of high ground. Anakin only had 28 seconds. So during this fight, when they look like little ants in the lava, because they knocked down the shield and that thing fell in the lava.
Oh, and and then show you the scale of that thing too. It was huge.
And Obi had the high ground. Then Obi stood over Anakin. So Obi keeps going for high ground in this fight. So it's not just at the end. He's always trying to go for high ground because he realizes that Anakin is stronger. Anakin's the stronger, younger, fresher fighter. And in the commentaries, I kind of want to see what you think about this. Because a lot of the times in these latest movies, it's you got to let your emotions flow. You need to use these. But in this, with Jedi, they're saying that Anakin...
Yeah, strong emotions are bad.
And they're saying that Anakin's emotions make him cocky and make him make mistakes. And Obi is so practiced that he doesn't make mistakes.